Good morning, I'm Ian Wright, and welcome to the special Saturday edition of Brightside. Things are finally getting back to normal for many of you, but others are still dealing with a number of issues from Hurricane Irma. We've set up a special Hurricane Help Hub to help you get the answers to questions. The biggest issue now, for just about a week or so, has been power. St. Pete Mayor Rick Kreisman is frustrated as well. He says that Duke Energy missed a midnight deadline to restore power for all of St. Pete. Just before about 12:30 this morning, he posted a message on Facebook, so we want to show you part of that message right now. Kreisman said, quote, "The information provided to me by Duke gave me confidence to be patient, and as such, I encourage the same from our residents. While it was irresponsible for Duke Energy to set a deadline and give false hope to residents in need, I do recognize and appreciate the progress that they have made." Kreisman also says he is thankful for the men and women who have worked so hard to restore power over the past several days. Duke Energy, by the way, the latest update from them. They say all of Pinellas County and Pasco County should have power by the end of today. Now, Tampa Electric says it's in the home stretch as well there. More than 90% of customers have their power back on already. And if you're having trouble visualizing just how many people across the state of Florida have no power, this right here gives you a better idea. So you're taking a look at a map from Florida Power, and this is before and then after Irma hit. Now, you see on the left side, it's very well lit, power just about everywhere in the state. Now, when Irma hit, this is what the state looked like just a few days ago. Look at that other image there. You can see it is dim with concentrated power only in the Miami area, here in Tampa Bay, and then in Orlando. Now, another big issue after Hurricane Irma is rising water. Several rivers and lakes in the Bay Area, they're rising to unsafe levels. This morning, Bass Lake remains under a voluntary evacuation order. That's where 10 News reporter Jay O'Brien joins us live with more on what residents there are having to deal with. Jay.
Ian, good morning. So this road is completely flooded. It actually backs up into Bass Lake there. This residential area that we're standing in kind of borders Bass Lake, and it is under that voluntary evacuation order, like you said. We want to show you kind of how high the water's gotten. Now, high water here has been a problem over the course of the summer, and it just got worse with flooding and rains from Irma. If you look behind me there, you see that residential fence about a foot high, maybe even 2 feet high. The water comes up almost to the top there, and that mailbox also behind me, again, water about a foot high on it all the way down the street. Now, we saw people wading through the water this morning to go to work, the residents of this community who are awake. That's something that we wanted to talk to you about. Please, if you can, with muddy water like this, with dark water like this, especially at off hours like dawn and dusk like we are right now, try to stay out of the water as best you can, because you don't know what's in standing water like this. Now, for residents in this area, this problem doesn't really have a solution at the moment. Now, crews are working to remove debris and help Bass Lake and the flooding surrounding it kind of drain a little bit easier, but there's no word yet as to how long that process is going to take and when roads like this that surround the lake will be cleaned up. Ian?
Hey, Jay, thank you. It's not just the Bass Lake that's high. A lot of the rivers still high as well. In fact, we're waiting to still crest on some of our rivers too. Take a look at this graphic right here. Now, this is generally in the 70s. We'll plan out your entire weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes.
All right, so think about this scenario for just a moment. You're without power, but your bill still comes in the mail, and that bill, it is way more than you typically pay. That's what one Duke Energy customer says happened to him. So we put Jeff Preval on the case to find out exactly what's going on here.
A Duke Energy spokesperson says that these bills were issued in error to only St. Petersburg customers. Today, I spoke to one of those customers who says that his bill tripled in cost, and he says he's not paying.
The storm knocked out Jeffrey Jelinas' power on Saturday. Since then, he and his family have been running appliances off a generator. So they're staying cool, but when Jeffrey saw his family's power bill skyrocket to $600, he couldn't believe it.
It's normally about $200 to $220 a month.
Where did your eyes go when you saw that amount?
Yeah, they went like bulged out of my head pretty much. I mean, that was a lot of money.
I spoke to a Duke Energy spokesperson about how this happened.
We're in all hands on deck mode with restoration, so we're not able to read meters. And so when we're not able to read meters, we estimate bills based on previous month's usage.
But how is that possible? Remember, for Jeffrey's family, their bill is usually around $200.
We don't know. So because we started hearing the customers' comments and because we are so focused on restoration, we just stopped we stop the process.
What's your message, I guess, to Duke Energy?
To Duke, I mean, my message to Duke is just, you know, have a little bit more like foresight next time, you know, like looking exactly like what you're sending out to your customers.
Now, if you think you have one of these bills in error, Duke Energy says that you should not pay it. Late fees, they will be waived, and they say that a representative should get out to read meters next week. If you have auto pay, Duke Energy says you will get a credit. Back to you.
Now, that story first came to our attention when several of you reached out to us. So if you have a concern or a question from our Hurricane Help Hub to look into, you can send us an email, tips@WTSP.com. And people all around the Bay Area have spent the past couple of days cleaning up the mess left behind by Hurricane Irma. The question now is, what do you do with all of that? Well, FEMA set guidelines to make it easy for debris removal. First of all, you have to make sure that debris is right out there on the curbside. If it's anywhere else, places like a porch or a sidewalk, that won't get picked up. Second, you don't want to place any debris against trees or fire hydrants. That just makes it more difficult to take away. Also, break it up into separate groups, things like electronics, vegetation, and household materials. So we have all of these FEMA guidelines for you on our website, WTSP.com. You can also find that on the 10 News app. And we're sharing stories of hurricane heroes all across the Tampa Bay area. These are sent to us through social media. There were 4 moms who decided that they wanted to thank the local linesmen for working long hours every single day just to get the power back on for folks. And their idea was simple: cook a nice meal for them. Well, they posted the event on social media, and listen to this. About 300 people showed up at Seminole High School to join in and help.
This is a community outreach event to say thank you to the linemen who have been restoring power to all of Pinellas County.
We had 4 moms. They came in and talked to us about cooking dinner for us, and we were thinking that a few families would get together and cook dinner and bring it out, but we never imagined something like this. There's probably 300 people here.
Fill your empty freezer.
This started circulating social media, to my knowledge, yesterday afternoon.
The band went crazy about it, and then they told everyone and just kept passing through like that.
These kinds of disasters bring out the best in people. When things are at their worst, we're at our best.
You can't thank folks enough for doing something like this, showing how much they appreciate what we do. And in turn, we really appreciate what they've done. It's been amazing to us of how many people have stopped by to just drop off a case of water or snacks or sandwiches, and that's been really good for us. It's helped our morale.
You're doing good, buddy, right?
We still have a lot of work to do here, and but we won't leave until everybody's lights are on.
Thanks for all the power.